Yeah.
Yeah. You've probably seen the reviews by now. They're quite good. It's probably the best ever. I mean, it can't be far off. I've never seen so many 10s, I don't think. I didn't actually give it a 10 for Games TM. I gave it a 9 with a bit in the text that actually said this is as close to a 10 as you can get without being a 10. Now, The Last of Us, as I said last week in slightly cheeky form, pre-embargo, is a rather special game. It is a long game. So I think I clocked in at 16 hours, and I don't know if that includes restarts, of which I had a fucking bunch because I did most of it on hard because I wanted to get into that atmosphere of survivalism. It ended up being too hard, so I had to switch down to normal. Naughty Dog have been a brilliant developer for a long, long time, but this, in my opinion, from the games that I've played of theirs, is their best game. It's the most narratively coherent, smart, systemically ingenious, brilliantly written, superbly acted game that they've done, and up there with games of all time. It's so clearly a masterpiece. What's strange is, talking about State of Decay before, The Last of Us is actually a way less ambitious game in terms of its gameplay, in terms of its systems. It's much more linear, driven, classic in some ways. We've played games like this before. It is ostensibly a stealth action game, similar in some ways to Manhunt. In fact, you play as Joel, played amazingly by Troy Baker. You couldn't believe that this is the same guy that played Booker DeWitt with his kind of sort of almost youngish, cheery voice. He plays the Flash in Injustice, even younger. I mean, he sounds like a fucking grizzled guy from the South. You know, most people could never even pick that it was the same guy. I don't think the guy's awesome. You play as Joel. Very soon, the game starts. I won't spoil too much, but the fucking event that is, this is an apocalyptic game. The game starts with that. It's fucking really dramatic, really exciting, really shocking, and then after that, 20 years later, and then we pick things up as Joel. He's a smuggler. He's with his isn't she, girlfriend Tess, and after a bit of meandering at the beginning, you're given the job to smuggle a girl called Ellie, who we've seen from the trailers, into a mysterious group called the Fireflies, who's like a sort of rebellious splinter group. That is where the journey begins, but it's certainly not where it ends. What the game entails is then a year in the lives of Joel and Ellie as they travel from Boston across America, taking in all sorts of people, all sorts of danger, and the infected, which are fucking gruesome. These mushroom-headed people that have been infected by the cordyceps mushroom. If you look on Google for cordyceps and what it does to insects, it's fucking hideous, and this is what it does to humans in this fiction. Really, really good. They are zombies, basically, but they're versions of them called clickers, which are the sort of seriously mutated ones. Really quite creepy. They use echolocation. They can't see you. They're an instant kill if they grab you, and to say it's tense is an understatement. But the thing that drives you through the game is there are two things. One, the story's brilliant. It's well-trodden ground. We've seen this stuff before, but it's rarely been written so well. And I include, Walking Dead TV show, even some great films in this. It's rarely been written so well with so much heart and warmth, but it's really bleak as well, especially for a game. It's a big-budget game. It pulls no punches, and that stuff's completely captivating for the whole 16 hours. It never drags. It's beautifully paced. But on top of that, the stealth action itself is great, because unlike most stealth games where the idea is to get from A to B without ever being seen, the idea is that in The Last of Us most of the time, but most of the time that's just not going to happen. You're going to run into trouble, and when you run into trouble, all the systems come into play, which are brilliant animation, good AI, and just frantic survivalism and extreme, unrepenting violence that is not gratuitous, or it doesn't kind of revel in its violence. It's just, as quick, nasty, brutal, and necessary. Yeah, that's the thing. You never feel like it's for no reason. So yeah, it kind of feels like Manhunt when you're sneaking around and you're so vulnerable, yet you're so deadly at the same time. When you sneak through and take out 5 guys in a house, it's incredibly satisfying. When one stumbles upon you and you have to fucking smash one, chuck a brick at another, sprint into the corner, hope they don't see you, quickly craft yourself a med kit so you can heal your wounds, pull your gun out, you've got 2 bullets, you just need to take this guy out and otherwise he's going to kill you and his friend. That's just breathtaking. It throws in set pieces along the way. I don't want to spoil any more of the game, but it's one of the true greats, and with all the other 10s coming out, I'm like, damn, I could have probably just easily put that 10 on it. But there were a few sections where I kind of I was screaming at TV. It can be slightly frustrating at a few points, even on normal mode, and there's a few bits where it gets a bit too actiony for its own good for me to get it to 10. But at the same time, if I had ended up putting a 10, I wouldn't have regretted it at all.